There are many transit projects that are under construction in Toronto right now, but arguably the Ontario line is perhaps going a bit better than others. Well, let's just put it that way. Construction of the long-anticipated Ontario line is well underway, and the scale and ambition of the project continues to grow with each passing month. There's also something else that is really growing with it, but we'll get into that a bit later on. Originally launched in March of 2022, with work beginning at the Exhibition Station, the Ontario line represents the most significant transit expansion in Toronto since the construction of the original subway. Mind you, this is not the first time that a relief line was proposed in Toronto. Originally in the 1950s, there was a plan to place a subway under Queen Street running east to west, but this was eventually moved north to what is now known as the Line 2 Bloor Danforth subway line. In any event, the excavation continues to progress at multiple sites, with a particular focus on the launch shaft at Exhibition, where tunnel boring machines will eventually begin carving their way eastward beneath the downtown core. One of the most visible impacts of this early construction has been the full closure of Queen Street between Bay and Victoria, which began on May 1st in 2023, and expected to last 4.5 years. In other words, even though the subway is not built yet, you should already stop driving downtown and just behave as though it's already there. This disruption has led to a full streetcar diversion, but it has also cleared the way for deep excavation work around Queen Station, which will become one of the line's busiest interchanges. The Ontario line is expected to carry approximately 388,000 riders per day, once fully operational. The line is projected to remove about 28,000 car trips from Toronto's roads each day. This shift from car to transit is expected to reduce congestion, cut greenhouse gas emissions, and save an estimated 7.2 million litres of fuel annually. The Ontario line is designed not only to relieve pressure on the existing TTC subway network, especially Line 1, but also to encourage commuters in underserved areas like Thorncliffe Park, Flemington Park, and Leslieville to choose transit over driving. Hopefully this will actually be the case, because don't forget that if the DVP and 401 become unclogged during peak rush hour times, it may only be a matter of time until people start to drive again on it, and then we're back to the same problem again. As of 2024, the Ontario line is progressing through its early but critical stages. Tunnel boring is expected to begin later this year from the Exhibition site. In the meantime, construction crews are preparing the Don Yard and the Lakeshore East Rail Corridor to support the elevated sections that will eventually carry trains through the city's east end. Station excavation and foundational work is happening simultaneously at key nodes like Osgoode, Corktown, Moss Park, and East Harbour. The East Harbour Station is going to be a massive station near the Don Yard, which will be a major new transit hub for Toronto. This will allow people to transition from north-south to east-west routes locally without having to go through or transfer at Union Station. We have set up a train network that has revolved around Union Station, and we desperately need another hub and spoke to transfer people at. Otherwise, it's just a matter of time until we just simply run out of room at Union Station, not to mention that it's no longer efficient. As each construction zone progresses, the project is steadily laying the groundwork for what will become one of Canada's most transformative transit projects. The Ontario line will span approximately 15.6 kilometers across Toronto, combining underground, elevated, and surface-level segments. It will include 15 stations with major interchanges at both ends, and 6 other key connection points to the TTC subway system, GO Transit, and the New Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Starting at Exhibition Station in the west, adjacent to Liberty Village, and serving Lakeshore West GO trains, the line will travel through the heart of downtown and underground stations at King Bathurst, Queen Spadina, Osgoode, Queen, and Moss Park. Osgoode and Queen will connect directly to TTC Line 1, significantly relieving congestion on the existing subway network. As it moves east, the line continues underground through Corktown before emerging at East Harbour. This station will have connections to Lakeshore East GO and some TTC routes that have yet to be announced, and possibly regional rail expansion. From there, the Ontario line will follow the existing GO Rail corridor, with surface stations at Riverside, Leslieville, and Gerrard, before heading underground again at Pape, which will connect to Line 2. Beyond Pape, the line transitions into an elevated guideway, serving Cosburn, Thorncliffe Park, and Flemington Park, neighborhoods that currently have no access to rapid transit. The line will terminate at Don Valley, previously known as the Science Centre Station, where it will connect to the Eglinton Crosstown LRT Line 5, completing a powerful new east-west and north-south transit spine. In terms of connections, the Ontario line is being designed as a fully integrated part of Toronto's broader transit system. It will connect with GO Transit at Exhibition and East Harbor, with TTC Lines 1 and 2 at Osgoode, Queen, and Pape, and with the new Eglinton LRT at the eastern terminus. These interchanges will make it easier for commuters to bypass Union Station and avoid the most congested parts of the subway system. The line will also integrate with key streetcar routes like the 504 King, 501 Queen, 510 Spadina, and 511 Bathurst, allowing for seamless transfers across downtown and into the city's west end. One of the most transformational aspects of the Ontario line is its potential to drastically reduce travel times. The full end-to-end journey is expected to take just under 30 minutes, a significant improvement over the 70 minutes it currently takes to travel a similar route using existing TTC and GO services, never mind driving on the DVP during rush hour. During rush hour, trains are planned to run every 90 seconds, making this one of the most frequent and modern rail lines in the country. With daily ridership projected at nearly 400,000 boardings, Metrolinx estimates that the line will reduce passenger volumes by 22% at Bloor-Yonge Station, 16% at Eglinton, and 14% at Union Station. In other words, it will be a pressure release valve for a subway system that has been strained for demand for more than a decade. But beyond reducing congestion, the Ontario line is expected to dramatically increase access to transit. According to Metrolinx, the line will bring an additional 227,000 people within a 10-minute walk of a rapid transit station and make it easier for up to 47,000 more Torontonians to access jobs within 45 minutes. In terms of sustainability, with the line being projected to remove 28,000 car trips from the road each day, this is estimated to save more than 7 million liters of fuel each and every single year. These benefits support the city's broader environmental goals and will help Toronto move forward a more transit-friendly, climate-conscious future. But most importantly, it's an actual subway that's going to be able to move people. Perhaps most importantly, the Ontario line will revitalize entire communities. While it has destroyed some areas, like at Pape Station along Danforth, we will just have to take the win in this case. Areas like Thorncliffe Park, Cosbourne, and Flemington Park have long suffered from poor transit access, making it harder for residents to reach jobs, services, and educational opportunities, and the Ontario line will give these areas a leg up, so to speak. By giving these communities fast direct access to downtown and other parts of the city, the Ontario line is expected to dramatically improve quality of life and stimulate economic development. Imagine if you're one of those people that's going to be able to seamlessly move between the northeast suburbs and downtown. This means people will actually be able to travel downtown more often. This will translate to more traffic and business downtown. Transit-oriented development is already being planned around several stations, which will bring housing, commercial spaces, and public amenities into closer proximity with transit. Technologically, the Ontario line will be a major leap forward. It will be a fully automated driverless train system using modern signaling and communication infrastructure. The trains themselves will be smaller and lighter than traditional TTC subways, but will run more frequently, providing a higher overall capacity. These upgrades will deliver a more reliable, safer, and smoother experience for riders and will finally bring Toronto in line with other global cities that have long embraced automated urban rail. For those of us that still want to embrace the past, the TTC is not planning to remove any streetcars from downtown anytime soon. Of course, this transformation does not come cheap. The Ontario line was initially estimated to cost between $10.9 billion and $11.5 billion. But as of 2024, revised estimates placed the total cost at around $27.2 billion. And by the way, I don't think that this story is going to end there. Just wait another year and let's see how much the total will be. But in any event, this includes inflation, expanded project scopes, and supply chain delays that have affected materials and labor worldwide. See, had we done these sooner, they would have been cheaper. Keep in mind that while the costs are rising at the end of the day, this will not mean that there will be any more stations, faster trains, or more capacity. Therefore, we will still be getting the same thing for just more money. Having said that, the line remains a top infrastructure priority for both the provincial and federal governments who are sharing the funding responsibilities. Set to open in phases starting in the early 2030s, the Ontario line represents the most transformative public transit investment in Toronto's history, and that's not an overstatement. There have been some rather blunders in-transit decisions that have not worked out as well. Just look at, for example, the Up Express, Eglinton Crosstown, Scarborough RT Line 3, and I can go on and on. But once completed, the Ontario line will not only provide a faster, more reliable alternative to the overburdened subway network, it will fundamentally reshape how people move throughout the city. This will offer new opportunities for people to live, work, and connect. As tunnel boring begins and stations take shape over the next few years, Toronto will hopefully finally begin to see the results of these investments. We talk about being a world-class city. We ought to start looking like one. I hope that you liked the video. If so, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed and want to be notified of new videos that are released, please click on the Art Toronto button here. This is the video that I would recommend for you to watch next, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Here's the playlist for all of the latest in transit news and views that you're going to find very informative and interesting. And finally, here is the latest video. Thanks for watching and happy transiting.